Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Hope everybody had a wonderful, safe holiday. Now that we're entering the new year, I'm getting ready to start on kind of my first little prop. This one's actually a request and an idea that my wife had. After I got done building her skeleton wall breaker prop, she kind of threw at me that she thought it looked kind of cool to build another one of these 3D pictures of essentially like a bride and groom dancing. So obviously, obviously with all the stuff I was building last season, I figured I'd wait till the new year to maybe kind of make this one. Plus, I kind of had to figure out a concept of how I wanted to do it, how I want to pose them, all that kind of stuff. So we picked up a picture frame. I have a couple extra skeletons. I think I got an idea in mind of essentially how I want to do it, what I want it to look like, and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's see how this one turns out. All right, so I went ahead and pulled him off because I'm trying to work on her at the moment. You see what I'm doing here? I'm kind of building like this, almost like this exoskeleton basket kind of form, I guess you can say. What that's going to be is I want it to make it to where when the dress goes on here, once it gets past the rib cage, it doesn't just fall down loosely and just kind of all baggy looking. I want some kind of form, some kind of shape to it. So you can see where I kind of added the wire, but I was trying to keep it so it's less than the rib cage and all that kind of stuff, so it doesn't look like it's beefing it out or anything like that. And it's also going to make it to where when I cover this with either a masking tape or something like that, it would give it to where I have something for the dress to lay on top of, so it looks proper, I guess you can say. Then I also have these boards that are in here. These are anchored to the skeleton itself, and they're screwed in from the backside. You see, this is where the one was for the male. And what that's going to do is that's going to make it to where when I put the dress on here, I can actually tuck it up underneath and glue it along the edge of the 2x4, along the bottom of this wire, fold it up, glue it so it doesn't move. You can see this wire is pretty rigid now, all the way around. So when I go to put it back on, and it lays back on top there after I cover this with either a fabric or paint it, whatever I'm going to do, it looks like the dress is coming all the way to, the picture essentially. And it's not just like sitting there loosely or baggy kind of thing. So it looks like it's supposed to. So but I'm gonna go ahead and get this one wrapped with what I need to put on there. Now I'll go ahead and put him back on, get him situated with all the wire, reinforce all that. Then the next step will be just to find some clothing and hopefully start to see this thing come to life. All right, so I got this one done. You see with the wire and the tape, you see where it just creates the overall shape. So once the dress goes on there, it's just gonna have a nice form. It's gonna lay, and then like I said, I'll be able to flip it over, and the hollow cavity will allow me to take it and fold it in and glue it all on these edges right here. So this way I can literally just take it, put it right back on, screw it down, and it's good to go. All right, so I got all the wire done. That was definitely pretty time consuming. That's why I didn't want to bore you with watching me just put piece of wire after wire. But you see where I got it all set up to where when the jacket goes down, everything's going to sit nice and flat. It's going to go around where I can wrap the jacket and then put the pants on here and have a nice flat area. I also went ahead, because this wire has a little bit of flex over here. I have this extra piece on here. What I'll do is after everything's dressed and I'm putting it back on, I'll be able to put this through, pull it down, and then bend this on the back side. And that's what's going to help make sure this bottom area doesn't move or anything like that after everything's installed. Alright, so I got it put back together. I got both of them taped and ready for the outfits. You can see I got the arms. I also heated up the fingers to try to make it look like it's wrapped around a little bit more. Same with the top here. Kind of bent the fingers so it looks like it's kind of going around. I also sectioned this arm just a little bit right here, about 1 inch, because it was a little too long and it didn't look right. I'm gonna either try to find a dress that has just a little bit of a sleeve where I can hide this. If not, I'll put a little bit of putty in here, sand it down, smooth it all out. I'm gonna be painting these anyways, just to kind of give them a little bit more of a realistic look to them. So I'm not too worried about that right there. I'll feather that out. But here we are at this point. Okay, we just went around and hit probably about 5 or 6 different thrift stores and picked up, obviously I got the jacket for him. We picked up a white dress, but we also picked up a couple of varieties just because we thought these dresses looked kind of nice. Just in case I don't want to go very traditional, maybe want to go ballroom dance or, something like that. The other thing we thought would be kind of cool if, say, we did one of these other colors is we could use the red from this because I got to cut the thing in half anyways and use that for the shirt for him. So it kind of ties the two outfits together. This one we thought was kind of cool because it already has this black on it. So we could use the green for his undershirt. So this way the green on the undershirt would tie into her dress and the black ties into the jacket. Then we thought the black, so we'd have, just all black. But I'm just going to have to experiment and see which one I like the best. The good thing is everything you see right there didn't cost us no more than maybe about 35 bucks. Everything was either like $2, $5. I think the most expensive one was $10. So I'm going to go ahead and start experimenting with them and see which one I think is going to work the best. All right, I've been doing a little bit of experimenting with fitting each dress on here because I really can't do really a whole lot with him until I really decide what I'm going to do with her as far as the dress color. And I've narrowed it down to the white and the red one. Main reason why is the black one was just too much black. It was, even if I put the red here and do the red back here, it's too much black. Plus also the shoulder with that little sleeve that I had on the black one just doesn't fit the shoulders properly for the skeleton. So it doesn't lay nice. So the black one's going to be out for this particular project. The green one looked okay. I just, because of the way it's shaped down here, it doesn't want to lay nice and flat like this one. So, and it's getting like, I can't get it to lay like I want it to. So the white one's going to be out. So, sorry, not the white one, the green one, I mean. So the white one and the red one are the two that seem to be kind of what I'm going with. So right now you can see I got the white one here. I kind of have it set up to where I'm going to make it to where the back half kind of flows out like it's a trailer and stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and put the red one on real fast and just kind of show you what the red one looks like. All right, so you see I put the red one on now. Now this dress is a lot more form-fitted, I guess you can say. It's a lot more of a straight, kind of dress, whereas the white one has a lot of the, like this area down here where it kind of just, a lot of it just kind of flares out, I guess you can say. I mean, I don't know the technical terms for that kind of stuff, so, don't make fun of me too much on that. But this is more of a form-fitted kind of dress. You can see it definitely lays down more flat. I can do sort of the same thing like I did with the white dress, where I could kind of maybe bring this out a little bit so it kind of fills out the back a little bit. If not, once everything's glued to the back of the skeleton here, I can do like that. This one shows a lot more of the extra work I did with the wires and the masking tape to kind of give it some shape to it. So this one really brings that out a lot more versus the white one doesn't really bring all that extra out. But either way, I think it's going to look just fine. You're in my way, right? Oh, here, hold on. I don't want to inconvenience you. Here you go. There you go. Is that better? Now you're getting fur all over everything. You are in my way. Just so you know. All right, so pretty much the white is the one I'm going to go with. It's more of what I'm going for as far as this particular project. I'll use the red and stuff like that for a future project down the road for something else, but I'm going to stick with the white on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and get him all dressed. So I'm starting the process of gluing the shirt on. I got to cut the excess and glue it around, and then I will put the jacket on after that. All right, kind of show where I'm at the moment. You can see where I kind of pretty much got everything in place. These are not screwed down yet because I still got to do something with the backboard. We found a couple pictures that we like. We're just trying to decide which one we want to get. They kind of have like a nice scenery kind of thing behind them. It kind of makes them look like they're almost like posing in front of something. We're just trying to decide which one we think is going to work best for essentially the vibe, I guess you can say, of the picture itself. You see I got the dress all done. I got it to where this area is going to hang over. This is actually going to hang over the actual picture frame that's going to be here, just to kind of give it a little more drastic kind of effect. See, I got the hand back in place. It lines up nice and perfect there. On her dress, it has this little, almost like little diamond kind of detail. I had to cut some of that off for it to sit flat. So I went ahead and transferred them over to her wrist here, so it kind of ties, into that a little bit. The next step is right now I'm in a stopping point because I gotta wait for some material to come in. I'm waiting for the wig and the veil to come in for that. We have a wig coming for him as well. I also have a couple hats. I'm trying to decide if I want to put on them. I have a like a top hat and a bowler hat here. I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. It's just a thought I have. But this is where I'm at so far with it, and hopefully I'll get that stuff in the next day or so, and I'll be able to get this completed. Okay, so I got the background picture trimmed up to the size that I want it to be. Now the way I have this set up is they're pretty much going to be kind of centered. Since he's very straight, he's pretty much going to go straight up like this. She has that curve, so she kind of curves like this a little bit, comes back. So once they're on, you'll see a little bit of the plants and stuff that are on the backside. You won't end up seeing this water fountain at all here, but you will see like the chandelier. You'll see a little bit of this skylight up here. You'll see a little bit of this kind of balcony up here, and a little bit of this window. So you'll have a little bit. So it kind of looks like they're dancing like in a hall or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start by getting him screwed into place, and then I'll go ahead and then I'll put her on, get everything lined up, and then after that I'll stand it vertically before I start putting the wig and all that kind of stuff on him, so this way I can make sure all that stuff lays nice and flat like I want it to. All right, at this point, I got them mounted to the picture. I got the picture mounted to the frame. What I did here is the picture fit between the normal part of the picture frame where it has like the little recess, in it, and then that piece of wood I was using was actually oversized. So essentially, the piece of wood is actually anchored to the back side of the frame. So it's I'm not putting a lot of stress on that little lip there. Plus, I was able to screw it so it gets a lot more strength to it. And when I put my hangers back on, I have a lot more material for the hangers, so I get a little more strength to it when it's hung up on the wall. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and kind of start messing around. I only have one wig at the moment. Only one has shown up, and it's hers. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting the wig on there, the veil, kind of see how I like it. His should be here in a day or so, and I can kind of finish him up. But let's go ahead and see what it looks like when I got the wig and all that on it. All right, so I got the wig and the veil on. As you can see in the video, it wasn't cooperating. It kept falling off on me, so I ended up having to kind of put the veil on the wig ahead of time. So when I glued the wig on, it was already kind of inside the meshing. So this way, it made it easier to get on there because I was fighting it getting it on there from when I glued the wig on first. But other than that, it's on there. You see where I'm going to kind of drape it around the shoulder just a little bit, have it come all the way down, and then I still got to do something with the dress here. I'm going to try to, make the dress look like it just hangs like that. But on the back here, I'm going to glue it in certain areas, and then just kind of wrap it around the frame so it just kind of looks like the dress is flowing. Either that, or maybe I'll take some wire, run a wire in there so this way the dress stays flared out. So when it's hanging on the wall, the 3D image essentially continues to project off of the picture frame as well. Like I said, the next step is to get the wig for him, figure out if I'm going to do a hat, and this one's going to be just about done. All right, I went and pulled the wig and the veil back off real quick because I decided I wanted to kind of give the dress a little bit of aging. So I'm going to do something I haven't really done before, which is the tea staining. Now, I have a good friend of mine that also builds all kinds of props and things like that has done a lot of tea staining. So I kind of asked her how she kind of does them. Normally, she said that she'll soak them first before she puts them on her props, but I kind of skipped that step. So I'm going to be doing after effects. So she kind of gave me some ideas of ways to do it. So how I'm going to be doing, you can see on the bottom, I kind of already started a little bit. I'm going to be using my auto sprayer. I'm going to spray it on in certain areas. Some areas I'm going to spray it on a little extra thick, and some areas I'm going to spray it on a little light. And I'm going to use some paper towels and some gloves and just kind of wipe it so it gets a little staining and that kind of stuff. And I'm going to try not to get too carried away, but definitely show it on there. I also got to do a little bit on his shirt. And then I'm also going to do the veil. The one thing I noticed with the veil, once I had the veil on top of the hair, with the hair being kind of a silver color, you almost couldn't even see the hair anymore. So I'm hoping by darkening the veil up, you'll see the hair a little bit better. So let's see what happens here. Okay, I got it all put back together, and I think I'm going to consider this one to be done. You see, I definitely did the tea staining on there. I try not to get too carried away, but I definitely want it to be a little darker, especially in certain areas. A lot of it with the folds, and then definitely at the base right there. Your kind of look of, say, like it was dragging on the ground. I darkened the veil up some. I know it's kind of hard to really tell, but I did darken the veil up. And then I also took a bunch of the excess veil and kind of shoved it back there so you can see the hair a lot more. Earlier in the video, when I first put the wig and the veil on, like you completely lost the hair, like it completely disappeared behind that veil. So I did that so you can see that a little bit better. I also put a little bit of hair hanging out here just to give it a little bit more of a look to it. The hands fixed in place now, and I got the wig on him. I'm a little on the fence with the wig at the moment still. So what I did is I did not glue it in place just yet, but the pressure and the weight of the hat, is keeping everything in place, so I'm not worried about it moving. So this way, if I decide I'm going to change it down the road, I can go ahead and change it. The other thing I do like is I do like the idea that we went with the picture in the background instead of doing like a paint or a fabric, just because there's so much area to see. This kind of gives it a lot more depth to it now because the picture has depth to it, and then obviously the skeleton's hanging off of it gives it that little extra more depth to it. Now, what we did to try to come up with this one is we went online and was just kind of looking at some pictures. Plus, we also looked at our own wedding pictures to try to find a pose that looked very natural and a pose that you would see in, say, a situation like this. And that's essentially where we come up with this particular pose that you see here. Overall, I do like the way this one come out. I like the look of it. I like like I said, the dimension, the depth of it. The next step is to try to find a place in the house to hang it. Like I said, this was a request and an idea from my wife of one that she wanted me to make. So we got to find a place to hang it now for her. But overall, I like the way this one come out. You have to leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Hit that like button if you like this video. And as always, thanks for watching.